Hey there, welcome to Be a Better You Annual Challenge, day 139, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, and I picked this cup specifically with the squirrels on it because today's topic is one that is often overlooked, but critical to our financial success and critical to our financial health, well-being, whatever you want to call it, and that is money mindset. Money we talked about a little bit yesterday, and that it is energy and an exchange of value. And when we have that point of view, we make decisions and choices more quickly. We have a much better outcome, generally speaking, with money than if we have less than a positive outlook on our relationship with money and on money as a whole. Money is one of the biggest components, not the only, but one of the biggest components of how we define our finances. And so today we're going to talk about it a little bit. What types of money mindsets help us? What types of money mindsets? Well, the most common, I think we'll talk about the 5 most common money mindsets, because it's one of those things that impacts all of us on a subconscious level that we don't even realize. So what we have to do is look at the results we're getting in our life, and if they're not what we want, we have to ask ourselves the 7 why exercise, or we have to ask ourselves questions about our thoughts and beliefs and feelings about things that contribute to our finances. How do you feel about investments? Not just money, but how do you feel about savings? How did you feel about setting up an emergency fund if you've never had one before? Did that make you feel good, or did that make you feel like it's just one more thing I have to do? It all comes down to our mindset about our financial health and well-being, and about money itself. Remember, money is not just a piece of paper. It's much more than that. So let's talk about wrong page. Let's talk about what is money mindset. It's our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our past experiences. It's everything we've decided, everything we think about, all of our prejudices and opinions about the subject of money. Is money good or evil? Is money, and a lot of times in our brains we set it up as a dichotomy, meaning 2 choices. It's either good or it's either evil. Well, it's neither, right? It's neutral. It's our thoughts and beliefs and how we apply it and use it that can be either determined good or evil. But having the right money mindset for you helps with my financial decision making. It helps with savings and spending habits. If you don't believe you can ever get ahead, you won't even bother saving. If you don't believe that you deserve to make a lot of money, you'll never even apply for that job where you could make twice as much as you're making right now, because you're more than qualified because you've got so many years of experience in your current position. Long-term financial success is linked to a positive money mindset. It also has a lot to do with how stressed out we are about our finances. So stress due to financial anxiety is probably one of the number 1 stressors for human beings. How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to feed my kids, etc.? How am I going to make the mortgage? Millions of people are impacted by that every single year. So what are some of the different elements of a money mindset? Number 1, and this is probably the foundational one, is scarcity versus abundance. Secret, roadmap, absolute newsflash. We live in an incredibly abundant universe. If you ever need an exercise in remembering that we live in an abundant universe, look at a body of water. Look at a beach and all the grains of sand. Look at dirt. Look at a tree and think about how many leaves are on this one tree alone, and how many trees of this variety, much less all varieties, are there on, maybe in my town, in my state, in my country, etc. Look for ways to remind yourself that we live in an incredibly abundant universe. The one thing I like to watch every year is the change of the seasons. I'm fortunate enough to live in a place where we have all 4 seasons that are very visible. And I love to watch it because it reminds me that things are always changing, but they're also always renewing and going back. It's all a cycle of energy. The second money mindset to keep in mind is a fixed versus a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you're stuck in this certain way. And I actually had a graphic for that I should have grabbed. We're not going to talk about it that long. But a growth mindset means I know things are always changing and I need to change and grow with them. Not that this is where I am and this is how, here it is in a sentence. That's just the way I am. That is a perfect example of a fixed mindset. Growth mindset is, I don't know the answer to this right now, but I'm going to figure it out because I know I can figure it out. And there's a lot more characteristics of that. Fear versus loss and our willingness to invest. I think I've said before that we as human beings will do way more to prevent from losing something. I mean, we'll buy guns, we'll get insurance, we'll put locks on our doors because we don't want anybody to break in and steal from us. And then the fourth element of money mindset is emotional versus logical decision making. Now, this is another human being thing. We buy based on emotion. We make decisions. All our decisions are based on emotions and how something makes us feel or how we think it's going to make us feel when we make that decision or choice. Logical decision, and then we justify it objectively, right? We come up with all the facts and the reasons that it makes sense that we made that decision. And, excuse me, what we need to remember is that we want to kind of not balance, because I think balance is not necessarily true. Balance is different for each and every one of us. What is the right balance for me is different than what is the right balance for you. But we want to make sure that we're not just doing that, making a decision, even if it's the wrong decision, and then justifying it with subjective things and reasons, only to come to find out later that we made the wrong decision because we reacted emotionally quickly and we didn't think it through. I hope that makes sense. So how do we cultivate a healthy money mindset? Number one, practice gratitude, right? Practice any emotion that is of a high positive vibration when we're thinking about money, when we're using money, when we're spending money, when we're discussing money. We want to have a positive emotional spin to it. So gratitude, love, appreciation, abundance. Number two, educate yourself financially. We've talked about this before. Knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience. Knowledge just comes from study, in my opinion. So we want to make sure that we are understanding and educating ourselves so we can make better decisions. We can make the right choices for us. We want to set clear financial goals, and we want to be working toward those goals all the time. It's part of what this month is all about. We want to surround ourselves with positive influences, positive people, read positive things, read growth-minded things. Get to know yourself better and what does and doesn't work for you. The connection between money mindset and finances is incredibly powerful, and we can literally find tens of thousands of examples of that online on the internet. Just do a Google search for it and read some people's stories about how their life dramatically changed when they changed the way they were thinking and feeling simply about money. There's I don't know, probably 1,000 coaches out there that teach this now because it's such an important component to getting what you want in life. All right, action item today, evaluate your money mindset. What's popping into your head? We've already done core values, thoughts, and beliefs, but pay attention today what pops up whenever the subject of money comes up. Share in the comments below, ask if you need any help, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Have an amazing day.